No wall can stand against the yearning of justice, the yearnings for freedom, the yearnings for peace that burns in the human heart. When the wall finally came down, it was their dreams that were fulfilled. Their strength and their passion, their enduring example remind us that for all the power of militaries, for all the authority of governments, it is citizens who choose whether to be defined by a wall or whether to tear it down.
Are we going to let this announcement and this administration cut off our wings?
No!
Never!
What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
I feel like people don't really understand the emotional impact that looking at the border has unless you actually go there yourself. Like, looking at it in a movie is one thing, but actually being there in person is another.
It was very interesting because I got to see a whole different perspective. Driving through the no man's land was really eye-opening because it showed how people live right up next to the border in Mexico, but then in America there's like miles and miles of space until like an actual like home is there. So it shows how we're not as connected.
I didn't think it would be such poverty right next to the U.S. Like, before this class, I didn't know this was the only situation where a first world country bordered a third world. I had no idea.
When we went to Casa del Inmigrantes in Tijuana, it was really interesting because we were able to actually see real immigrants as opposed to just seeing numbers and statistics, but also we were able to see how the dynamics of immigration into the United States has changed. And so as opposed to just seeing like solely Latin American people, there are also people from Haiti and Congo there as well.
Along the border in Jacumba, California is a smaller wall. They're all numbered in the 300s and they go down from about 375. They were shipped in from the Vietnam War and they were used as landing strips, but today they mark the wall on the less funded side of the Jacumba, California border.
So we're in Jacumba, California. This is where the fence literally plunges into the California desert. A lot of migrants die coming across because of the extreme heat that they encounter in this area.
Jacumba, California is such a remote location, but because the border security there is less heightened than it is in San Ysidro or a major city like that, it's a really popular location for migrants to cross. But the problem is that the conditions there are so intense, it can get up to be like 120 degrees, and people die every year of heat exposure and of the conditions in that area. Chicano Park is a really important location, especially since Obama just recently designated it as a national landmark. And it was really interesting for us to see this prominent landmark depicting the stories of migrants and of undocumented workers. I think a lot of times people aren't really willing to acknowledge that undocumented workers contribute a lot of culture to our society, but living so close to the border, we see a lot of the influence, cultural influence that undocumented migrants bring to our city, and that's really exemplified in a lot of the murals at Chicano Park, particularly in the mural of the undocumented worker by Michael Schnorr. It kind of has 4 pieces that depict different elements of the migrant experience, and being able to see that in person was a really meaningful way to see what that journey's like.